And we're going to start in grammar on page 91. Page 91.
Could I just leave it off?
Yeah, I would prefer if you could figure it out, but do you know why it's doing that?
No idea.
Are you on a desktop or a laptop?
I think it's a desktop.
Do you have a camera on your desktop?
Yeah.
I think, have you tried going to that little icon at the bottom of Zoom and selecting your computer? You know,
Yes,
there's
that's on my computer. Oh, I know what it is. Hold on.
okay. All right, we're going to talk about a couple of openers here. The ing opener and the ing phrase. So we're going to look at the differences between those two things. Oh, there you are. Good job, Ian. So in week 13, it feels like it's been a long time. I know it's only been 3 weeks, but it feels like longer than that since we've been together. So we're just going to do some refresher stuff here and we'll get caught up. We got to get back into the groove here. So it says way back in week 13, you learned that a number 4 ing opener is a sentence that begins with a participle phrase, and that is a word that has ing at the end. However, a participle phrase, ing phrase, does not have to begin a sentence. An ing phrase can be placed anywhere in a sentence. So that's just the difference between an opener and just an ing phrase. Okay, so there's obviously you can use it at the beginning as an opener or in the middle of your sentence. So they're giving you these both of these examples so you can see what it looks like. This is an opener, an ing opener, waiting to understand. Mowgli searched Bagheera's eyes. When an ing opener begins a sentence, a comma separates the ing opener from the main clause. And remember this part, the thing after the comma must be the thing doing the inging. Remember that? So whatever is after that comma has to go with the ing word. So Mowgli searched for Bagheera's eyes. It's Mowgli who wanting to understand. So it's Mowgli who wanted and searched for Bagheera's eyes. So right after that comma has to be whatever it is doing the inging. That's how you figure that out. And there's always a comma there when it's an opener. But here, Mowgli searched Bagheera's eyes, wanting to understand. It's at the end of the sentence. So this is just considered an ing phrase. When an ing opener does not begin a sentence, a comma separates the main clause from the ing phrase. So either way, you're going to need a comma. That's the rule. And it gives you a little note here. This book contains only non-essential ing phrases which require commas. So whenever you see ing in this book, you need commas. Okay. Later, when you get into even more advanced grammar, you'll learn the difference between essential and non-essential phrases and all that good stuff. Great stuff. If you're ever bored and you want something to do, just start studying grammar, right? Just kidding. I mean, you can, but okay. So, comma, place commas around a mid-sentence non-essential ing phrase, ing word phrase, comma, main clause, or main clause, ing word slash phrase. So either way, commas, you're going to read the sentence and fix it. You're just going to add a comma when you see this in this book. The wolves mocked Aquila, taunting their aging leader. There's that ing, taunting their aging leader, and this is the main clause at the beginning. Here, Aquila walked away. There's the main clause, comma, ignoring the young wolves. All right, let's turn the page, 92. A little bit more back here. We're talking about a phrase. You guys already know this. This review is a group of related words that contains either a noun or a verb, but never both. So this is where it's getting a little bit deeper with this. I used to always say clauses have verbs and phrases do not. That was the kind of the rule of thumb. But now that you guys are getting a little bit further into more of an advanced grammar, there are cases when phrases do have a verb, but they never have both a noun and a verb at the same time. So look at this example here. Hearing the pack's cry, Mowgli was running in the jungle. The jungle is in the jungle is the prepositional phrase right here. And then it says Mowgli had grown anxious listening to the wolves' cries. So to the wolves' cries is also a phrase. Even though we see cries here, that's going to be a verb. But this is still considered a prepositional phrase. So you're not going to stop on to the wolf anymore. It can include a verb, but it has to have a noun with it too. So never just a verb though, okay? So in this book, you learned 3 types of phrases: prepositional phrase, in the jungle, to the wolves' cries. A prepositional phrase begins with a preposition and ends with a noun. It adds imagery or information to a sentence because the entire phrase functions as an adjective, describing the noun, or as an adverb, modifying a verb or an adjective. I need to go back to this really quick because when I first said this, I said that cries was a verb, but actually in this one, it is a noun because it's the cries belong to the wolf. It's a thing here. Sometimes cries can be a verb though, if you're talking about, boo-hoo crying. That would be a verb. Okay, jump down here. Verb phrases: was running, had grown. So a verb phrase, it includes a main verb, like the action verb running or grown, but it also contains a helping verb. So whenever you have those two next to each other, they're called a verb phrase. The helping verbs often indicate the tense and mark it with a V, and these don't take commas. That's why the comma is crossed out here. Look down here at these participle ing phrases: hearing the pack's cry, listening to the wolves' cries. A participle phrase begins with a verb form that ends in ing. So it still is a verb, but we're calling it a participle because of that ing ending. And it usually includes additional words like adverbs, nouns, infinitives, prepositional phrases, or dependent clauses. It describes a noun because the entire phrase functions as an adjective. This is why the thing, the subject, noun, after the comma must be the thing doing the inging. We love that phrase, right? The thing after the comma must be the thing doing the inging. Mark it at number 4 if it begins the sentence. The ing phrase is outside the main clause, and this is when you use commas. So we're going to watch out for those, okay? Let's go to the practice page. Does anybody feel like reading it today? Any takers today? Okay, Matt, thank you.
Mowgli heard the snap of Akela's teeth and then his cry. As the elk kicks him, Akela howled in anger, missing his kill.
Okay, good. We got some drama going on here. The vocabulary word is kill. Obviously, we know what kill means when an animal that has been killed. It's actually going to be used as a noun here, his kill. But sometimes kill can be a verb. It's an action, right? So this is telling that it's already been killed. So that's the vocabulary. Let's start with the fix it column. Sometimes that helps a little bit when we just jump over, skip mark it first. And by the way, just a reminder really quick, I know I had parent conferences with everybody in here before the break. When you sit down to do your homework for grammar, make sure that you read the sentence out loud first. Don't just turn the page and go, okay, coordinate conjunctions. Okay, where are the prepositional phrases? Don't just dive into the list. You have to start by reading it. The reason is because if you're just going down the list, you might see kill and think that's a verb. But if you read it, you'll realize kill is not a verb, it's a noun. So it's really important that you read it for context so you can understand what the meaning of the sentence is and how the words work together. Okay, it's really important that you do that. So indent, that's pretty easy. We're just going to put that paragraph symbol at the beginning. This is supposed to be a new paragraph. Capitals, that's pretty easy. Go ahead and find those by yourself. Commas, I'm not too sure about those yet, so I'm going to skip that. So this is how I'm going to model for you guys when you do your homework. Skip it. If you're not sure yet, keep going. End mark, that's pretty straightforward. Period. Can do that. Apostrophe. Let's see, Ian, do you know where the apostrophe goes? Where does the apostrophe go?
Kicks him.
Say it again.
Kicks him.
No, no, that's not an
Oh,
apostrophe there.
Achilles.
There you go. It's Aquila's teeth. So the teeth belong to Aquila. That's why we need an apostrophe there. And then there's a usage error, and you're right about that word kicks, Alex. It doesn't really fit right there. Do you know how we should fix this word kicks?
It should probably be kicked.
Yes, past tense. So that's something to pay attention to. You want to make sure you keep the same tense throughout. And they started with heard, and kicked would follow that past tense, howled, all those past tense words. Okay. All right, coordinating conjunction, Aubrey, where is that one? Remember, that's fanboys.
And
Good. And right here. I'm going to skip prepositional phrases and jump to actually, I'm going to jump to subject verb pairs. So we need to start labeling those. So Matt, let's talk about verbs for a second. By the way, it says 3 subject verb pairs, but that just means there's 3 subjects, for sure, 3 subjects, but there could be more verbs. So what do you think, Matt?
Um,
So you're looking for action words. Any helping?
kicked.
Good. Kicked is one.
Snap. Or no, howled.
Yeah, howled is one. I noticed you changed your mind on snap. That's right, because the snap is telling us that's a noun. So not snap.
Missing.
No, missing is
Heard.
gonna be one of those participle.
Heard.
Heard, yes. So that's it. It's heard, kicked, and howled. That's right, Matt. Good job. So the subjects, Jude, what goes with heard?
Mowgli.
Good.
And then elk,
Elk, good.
and then Aquila.
Good. That's right. Good job, you guys. So now going back to main clauses, these are going to have subject and verb pairs and they're complete thoughts here. So, Ian, what about some main clauses? Where are the main clauses here?
Mowgli heard the snap of Achilles' teeth,
And keep going.
and then his cry.
Yeah, right there. And then his cry. That's one.
The elk kicked him.
We can't just start it here because this is going to be a www.asia clause right here, an adverb clause. So we're not going to count this part because it's not a complete thought. So where's the second main clause?
Aquila howled in anger.
Missing his kill. No, you're right. It does stop there. Sorry, my bad. It does stop at anger. Sorry about that. Aquila howled in anger because this is your participle phrase right here. Okay, we've got the 2 main clauses. We have an adverb clause. Alex, where's the adverb clause?
as the elk kicks him. Kick him.
Good. Yes, and remember, That is the Asia, and as is part of the Asia word there. Now the prepositional phrases. Aubrey.
Of Akila's teeth.
Good. Of Akila's teeth is one.
And in anger.
Yes, good. In anger, very good. So now we've got two openers, Matt. We've got two sentences here. So what kind of an opener is this one? The first one.
Subject opener.
Good.
Number
Which
one.
number one? Very good. And then what's the other opener here?
Another subject opener.
Another subject opener. Very good. So now we got to figure out the commas is the last part here. So there are some rules about that. Jude, do you know what to do with the commas?
No.
You're not sure?
No.
Okay.
Do you remove any of them?
Yes. You actually
Snap or
removed
snap?
two of them. So did you
After
say
snap.
after snap? Yeah. Sorry. Cut you off there. Yes, after snap, because this is part of a main clause and we don't need that comma right there.
And then after his cry.
And then after his cry, that one comes out too. Yes.
And then where do I add one?
Yeah, I've got to add one. There's a rule with the ing phrase here, missing his kill. Whenever you have a main clause that comes first, you need a comma after that, before
Okay,
that.
so right after anger or right
Yeah.
after?
Yes, that's right. Right after anger, because that's the end of that main clause there. Akila howled in anger, comma, missing his kill. So remember the rule with the participle phrase, whether it goes first or last, you will have a comma between. So watch out for that when you're doing your homework. You've got your main clause and then the participle phrase here, so comma between. All right. Did we get it? I think we did. Anybody have any questions? Shake your head no if you don't. Okay. Good. Don't forget, read the sentence first when you start your homework. Don't just dive into the list. And it's okay to jump around on that list. The new skill that you've learned, though, is the participle phrase with the ing. So again, I'm just going to remind you, it's going to take a comma. So that's going to be your clue. When you see that comma, fix it line, look for that participle phrase. So whether it goes before the main clause or after, it doesn't matter. There needs to be a comma there. All right. You guys were writing about Gutenberg before break forever ago. So we are moving on. We're going to put away week 10, which is the Gutenberg assignment. I did have a chance to look at your homework, so make sure sometime soon you go back on Google Classroom and see your score. I know I talked to your parents about this. It's really important that you check your score. If you got anything less than 10, that means you're missing something or you forgot, or you need to change something. So make sure to do that and then turn it back in because your goal is 10 every week. Your goal is 10. So Matt, how's yours coming along? Have you been working on your Gutenberg paper?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Try to get that turned in as soon as you can, okay? Because I don't want you to get too far behind there.
Wait, you didn't ask for it this week, did you?
It was actually the week before break. By the way, as you guys are putting stuff away, this is going to go behind model charts and outlines. This is the yellow page.
I sent something in for it.
I did see your grammar, and that was due before break. But before that was the
Yeah, I
Gutenberg
should have sent
paper.
something in for that. Did I not?
Hold on. Let me double check for you. I didn't see it, but let me double check really quick, and then I can.
Unless I was supposed to do the whole thing, but I was only told to do like one part of it.
Okay, so you got your fix it grammar in. I'm looking right now. Yeah, I don't see it, but I'll double check again later. But you check on
I
your
guess
end, too.
no, I must have forgotten to send it to you because I did it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, if you could double check after class, okay, and send it in, that would be good. For whatever reason, though, I'm just not seeing you. It's like you got kicked off of Google Classroom or something, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Wait, me?
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know why, but double check that.
I'm
The
in
class.
year 2, level B.
Okay. It should have been the homework that was due on 12/15. So if that helps.
Yeah, I think I forgot to send it to you.
So the rest of you can get out the next week, which is week 11. It's called Nikola Tesla. We're going to be studying about him. He was a scientist. And by the way, I'm going to forewarn you, there's a lot of pages here because the articles are long. So go ahead and take out week 11. I don't even know how many pages. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think. That's a lot. You also need a fresh piece of big white paper from the back of your binder. So go ahead and get one of those out. We're continuing to study how to write a summary or summarize multiple references. That's what we're working on. When we have multiple references, there's going to be multiple keyword outlines. That's just how it is. I know it seems long and tedious, but honestly, this is so much easier than just trying to write a paper out of thin air when you're looking at lots of different references. This is a skill that I want you guys to remember even after my class, because you will go on to other classes, other writing classes, and this skill of making your keyword outlines and your fused outline for research is going to really help you even in college. I promise you. You're going to be so glad you know how to do this. It will really help make this process so much easier. Can you imagine if you had like 3 books that you had to do a report on, like you had to figure out how do I tell what I'm reading here? And it's overwhelming, but if you use this outline that we've been practicing, it takes away just that stress of where do I start? So just keep that in mind. Um, let's see. We're gonna let's set up our white page first, the big one. Hopefully everybody still has those. Did we lose Ian? It looks like we lost Ian. Here, I'm going to take this off share. Remember the white page, this big one from the back? Go ahead and fold it this way first. Remember the taco fold? I'm going to do the taco fold first. Matt, do you have this paper in your binder?
Yeah.
It'd be in the back. And
Yeah,
then
I
you guys are
have
going to fold it in thirds from here. Remember, like halfway or partway over. And then this one goes over the top of that. We're going to end up with squares. There we go. So I'll show you again. Remember, first fold is like this, taco fold, and then you're going to fold it in thirds like that. So you should end up with a square. Okay, open that up. We're going to have 4 articles today. Woohoo! We got this. This is good. It's good practice, you guys. So we're going to have, let me get my pen here. Where did it go? It's my pen. Hold on a second. Ah, here it is. Okay. The first box, A. And then this is going to be Roman numeral 1. And we're going to do 1 through 5. Good news, 4 and 5 are optional. So I'm just going to make parentheses around it like that. If you need it, use it. If you don't need it, you don't have to use it. Because you've got 4 articles this time, a lot to go through. So first box is A, Roman numeral 1 through 5. Second box is B, still on Roman numeral 1. This is going to be only for the first paragraph. Make sure you kind of spread these out. Remember, give yourself some space here. Don't scrunch it up too much. 1 through 5 again. C, Roman numeral 1 through 5 again. Okay, this time we are going to have a D, so that's going to go under A. In the next box down here, down below, we're going to put D. Same thing, Roman numeral 1 through 5. I'm going kind of fast because I know you guys have already set a bunch of these up before, so I think you got this. In the middle, as usual, we're going to put fused outline here.
I did mine wrong, so can I just do it all in one row?
I'm not sure what you mean.
I did my paper. I folded my paper wrong.
Oh, it might be easier to start over with folding. Let me see what you did. Hold it up in the camera.
Can you see it?
Did you fold it too many times?
Yeah.
Well, as long as you have space, you can make
Yeah,
it.
I have
Okay.
space.
All right. Go ahead and make it work then. In this last box over here, I'm going to have you write something a little bit different here. Well, actually, no, I changed my mind. Let's put possible topics. This is where we usually put this. Possible topics here. And this time I'm going to have you, we're going to have to scrunch this. A, B, C, D. We're going to make a list of possible topics under each one of these. So we're going to have to scrunch this square a little bit, but that's all right. Possible topics go there. So as you guys are setting this up, just a reminder, these are the steps that you take when you write a research paper or summarizing multiple references, which is what we're doing. We have 4 articles. They're all different, written by different authors. And what we're doing is compiling that information from 4 places and making it into one paper, one report. So the first step is knowing what your subject is. Your subject is Nikola Tesla. You guys know about Tesla, man. Tesla, the car, is super popular right now. And it's just odd to me the way it's shaped, especially the truck. What's the truck called? Do you guys remember the name of the truck? I forgot. Is it the Tesla? It's all boxy, looks kind of futuristic. But then we see
The
Tesla.
Cybertruck?
Yeah, the Cybertruck. There it is. I was trying to remember the name of it. Tesla was a person, and you're going to read about this guy. He's pretty interesting, but he's long dead. This was a long time ago that Tesla was actually a scientist, but he discovered some amazing, crazy stuff. That's why they named these new vehicles. You know, it's Elon Musk that's creating these new vehicles now, and he's just naming the vehicles after the scientist Nikola Tesla. Anyway, so I lost somebody else just now. Somebody else disappeared. Oh, it was Aubrey. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the power's going out. I know there was talk about that up here in Tehachapi, so hopefully mine hangs in there. But if all of a sudden everything goes black, that means my power went out, okay? Just so you know. And I'll try to figure out how to get back to you. But anyway, let's go. Let's see what's next. Can I show? I want to ask Jude something really quick because Jude, you did a great job on your Gutenberg paper. I want to start by saying that. And I really like how you posted your outlines like I asked. And I wondered, is it okay with you, Jude, if I share with the class what your keyword outline looks like? Okay, cool. Because this is the goal. This is what I want you guys to work on as far as your your outlines go. So I'm going to share Jude's paper. This was from the Gutenberg paper that you guys worked on. So from the Gutenberg paper, you only needed to have A, B, and C because there was only 3 articles there. But I want to point out to you how he has something from each one of these columns, A, B, and C, in his fused outline. I know it's kind of dark to see this, but if you look at his fused right here, number 1 down here says learned father Goldsmith. And notice he got that from this one up here on A, and he put a little check there. I like that because I know he's keeping track of the information he's pulling from the different sources. So he put that there, and then he's got system, old, new, and that came from over here on C. He's thinking, okay, I want to talk about how the system, how it was old and then became a newer system. And so he has a little check mark there. He added it here. Number 3, coded type ink. Got that back over in A. You get what I'm showing you here, so that when you're doing your fused, you're pulling from each of the ABC. And for this one we're doing for Tesla, you're going to have A, B, C, D. But you're pulling some from each of those sources. They can be mixed up. They don't have to be in order. But it has to make sense, the logical order that you choose. You don't want to be randomly placing facts here that don't flow, because when you go to write your paragraph, it's going to be choppy, okay? So then I'd like to show his, hold on a second. His actual paper and how he used that. This is for the second paragraph. So you can see his first sentence in his second paragraph says, because Gutenberg worked in his father's goldfish. Oh, that's a new one for you. Gutenberg and goldfish. Okay, how about goldsmith? His father's goldsmith shop. He earnestly studied the art of metal work. So he used those keywords, which was father's goldsmith shop, and created a sentence. And then the next sentence, beginning in the mid 1400s, he formulated a printing system which utilized both old and new aspects. So see how he used his fuse line for each sentence to build his paragraph. So excellent job, Jude. And thanks for letting me share that, because I do want people to see how that's what I'm looking for, okay, for when you're using these fused outlines. All right, so back to this. Let's start looking at the articles. Now, these articles are long, and there's a bunch of them. There's 4 of them. We don't have time in class to read everything. So here's what I'm going to suggest you guys do. We're going to take some notes on your papers here, on the articles. Hold on just a second. Okay. But I'm going to have you just read the first sentence of each paragraph. That is a strategy if you don't have time to read all of it. Now, I don't want you to use that strategy for everything every time, because this is only when you're working on summarizing a reference and you're choosing topics, okay? So if you have an assignment where you have to read a lot for history or something like that, don't just read the first sentence for that. This is just for an assignment like this, where you're pulling facts from articles to write a paper. A lot of times we don't have time. If you have 3 books from the library and you're supposed to do a report on something, you don't have time to read 3 books that have 300 pages each. That's 900 pages. You don't have time to do that in a week. So there's got to be a way for you to narrow down what you're looking for and finding those topics. So my recommendation is the first sentence of each paragraph. If you don't pick up on the topic of that paragraph in the first sentence, then that's when you skim. And I know some of you had me last year and for a class, and I taught you how to skim. And skimming is picking and choosing keywords throughout the paragraph to get an idea of what it's about. You can do it quicker than reading the whole thing. So for instance, I'm on this first one. Go ahead and write A at the top of this first article so we can keep track of what goes with what on our outlines. I'm just going to put it right here like that. That's going to match A. This is page 117. The first sentence, interest in the scientist Nikola Tesla has reawakened in the 21st century, but fake news has spread. So that sentence doesn't give me a whole lot about exactly what's going on in this article. So now I'm going to start skimming a little bit. Okay. So I see electricity. I see he was a genius, lightning, laboratory, other scientists and engineers, projects, discoveries, development of many devices, technologies. Born in Croatia, I see a date here, 1856. Teachers, okay, I have enough. I just want to model that for you. This is what I'm doing. I'm picking and choosing keywords out of here. I have enough to know this is basically like an introduction to who he is and a little bit about his early life. But I'm going to call this paragraph general, meaning it's kind of an overview, right? It's general information about Nikola Tesla. Nikola sounds like a girl's name, like Nicole, but it's actually, and I guess from where he came from, which was Croatia. That's a man's name. But anyway, I'm putting general there because there's a bunch of kind of random facts inside that paragraph. So I'll be able to pull from that paragraph for other things too. Look at the next paragraph. Nikola Tesla felt that experiences during his youth and in the influence of his family contributed to his career. This is going to be about his early life. So go ahead and write early life next to that paragraph. What we're doing is taking notes so we can keep track of where to find this information because you're going to need to know where to go when you write your keyword outlines. So we've got early life. Let's go ahead and turn it over to the back here. Keep going. Next paragraph, first sentence says Tesla improved on others' inventions and some he originated. Just going to kind of skim that for a second. And I see Thomas Edison. I see DC electricity. He was interested in electricity, gained patent. Okay, so I can already tell, I see that word patent. I know that this is going to be about his inventions. Some of them that were already inventions that he improved on, but also creating his own inventions. So for this giant paragraph, I'm going to put inventions. Does anybody have any questions about what I'm doing right now? I want to make sure you guys understand this process. Any questions right now? If not, just shake your head no. Okay. So I'm doing this quick because this is how we handle lots of information, too much that we can cover in an hour. We can skim. There's another page, page 119, that's still part of Article A. One more paragraph here. In modern times, Tesla's work is becoming better known. Tesla was simply too far ahead of his time. Okay, so I already can tell this is talking about current time, past his death. So I would call this one his legacy. And he has a legacy, even in the United States, especially here, because of the vehicles that are named after him. Okay, so we got A done. So going back to this possible topics list on your big white page, I know you're probably all spread out on your table. That's good. Just keep it all right there in front of you. We're going to copy those possible topics, write kind of small because we're going to use each column here. Okay, so we've got general, we've got early life, inventions, and legacy. I'll zoom in so you guys can see that. That's from what we read the first sentence in each paragraph. We had to skim a little bit just to verify some of those. These paragraphs address these topics. Okay, now we're going to move on to B. Give me a thumbs up if you guys are with me. You're good? And it's a lot to jump in right after the big break. We're like diving in. We got this. All right. Article B is going to be the next one. It starts on page 121. I got to get my papers together here. Hang on. Okay, page 121. It's called Tesla's Plans. Let's start by putting a B. Oops, I got to back out here. Hold on. See that? Okay. Tesla's plans. This is B. Put a big B there. This is going to correlate with B on your outlines. It's really, really, really important that you guys stay organized like that. You think you might remember later, but it's going to be confusing unless you label things the same. Okay. So here we go. Nikola Tesla was an electrical engineer and one of the greatest physicists in history. That doesn't tell me a whole lot. I mean, it kind of is an introduction here. I'm going to skim. And if ever you don't know what the paragraph is about by that first sentence, then start skimming, looking for those key words. Physicist, matter, energy, motion, registered 300 patents. So that's part of his inventions. Improvements on AC and induction. I see hydroelectric power, radar, x-rays, robotics. This is, to me, it sounds again like it's kind of a general introduction, but it also talks about some of his inventions. So I'm going to put general / inventions. They're both here in this first paragraph on page 121, general / inventions. Sometimes paragraphs have more than one topic mixed in. So it's good to know if you're looking for some of that information. Next paragraph, I'm still on page 121. Tesla was destined to help the people of our world benefit from electricity. Oh, here we go. I had to keep going a little bit. Born in 1856. Okay, he's talking about his birth. His interest in electricity grew. His pet cat, interesting. Boyhood, okay, this is early life. Early life. As soon as I saw things like youth and early life, like boyhood and born and a date, then I know, okay, this is talking about his early life. On the back, keep going. Slow me down, you guys, if I'm going too fast, all right? I know I'm going fast, trying to fit it all in here. Let me know. Just unmute and tell me, can you slow down, please? All right, I'm on 122. This giant paragraph on the back. Tesla's greatest discoveries occurred while he lived in the US. I'm seeing that word discoveries, and I'm thinking this is going to be about his inventions. I'm just going to kind of scan a little bit. He's talking about research on AC, inventor. I see that. He's talking about George Westinghouse, another inventor, AC power. So it looks like he's talking about other inventors, but he's also talking about how he modified those inventions too. So I'm still going to label this inventions. What he did was take what other scientists started and took it further. Brilliant, brilliant genius of a man. This giant paragraph on page 122, I'm just calling it invention. Okay, there's one more page here. This is page 123. Hold on. This. That's still part of that last paragraph, so I'm going to jump down here to this one. During the first 21st century, books and websites have revisited mysteries surrounding Tesla, Nikola Tesla. In his autobiography, he described that from childhood at age 17. So it talks a little bit about his childhood, but it's talking about current things. I see the date 1989. That's more current. So I'm thinking this is going to be another mix of legacy and it's interesting right here, though. He talks about in his childhood at the age of 17, he saw before him clear pictures of events or experiences as if projected on a screen. So it was almost like he was watching a movie in his own head of science, like things that he was wondering about. So pretty crazy. I mean, that's like Einstein status right there. So I'm going to call this legacy slash, I'm going to put mind here because it's talking about how his mind worked. And honestly, that's pretty interesting. So you might want to include some of that information when you talk about his early life. You might go, man, I want to mention his mind and how his mind worked as you're introducing Nicola in your paper. Is there another page of this, or is that, oh, a little bit more on the back, but it's still part of that same paragraph? One thing he does mention in this paragraph that I want you to circle. Do you see where it says DEW? I want you to circle DEW on this. This is still page 123. DEW is directed energy weapon. That's something he invented. So that could be something you want to include when you're talking about his different inventions. Interesting information right here. So I wanted to point that out to you. All right, go back to this list here. Let's start writing down what we put for Article B, which was, the first one was general. I'm just going to put gen and inventions. Trying to write it small so it'll fit here. So gen inventions, let me zoom in so you guys can see this. We had early life. We had more inventions. Well, I already have inventions. I don't think we have to write it again, actually, because it's here. And then we have legacy. Let's put that one. Legacy slash mind. I didn't write inventions again because we already have it listed here. We know it's going to be in B. Okay. How are we doing on time? Oh boy. We got C and D. I'm going to do this super fast, you guys, because we're running out of time here. All right, let's go on to C, which is on page 125. Just unmute and tell me if you guys are lost or you need help, okay? Just counting on you to do that. This is Article C, page 125. I can already see Nikola Tesla. It's showing dates. He was a pioneer. And is talking about a patent, which is part of his invention. That just means a patent means when you're putting your name on something that you invent and you're paying for your rights to own it, basically. Is talking a little bit later about AC, electrical current, and DC. Do you guys know about electricity, AC and DC? Interesting stuff. Maybe you've learned about it in science, but this whole paragraph, though, is talking about his invention with electricity. So I think I'm going to call this, AC slash DC power. This is the electricity that he worked on. AC is alternating current. You're going to learn about this when you read this paragraph, but AC DC power, this is one of his inventions, okay? Nikola Tesla down here, it's talking about he was recognized as a genius and also as an oddball, I bet. Let's see, he had friends, talked about worried about germs, razor sharp brain, pictured how things work. So this is going to talk about his mind. I'm still on page 125, so I have AC, DC power and mind. On the back, going to go jump down to the bottom here. He was born in 1856. Okay, this is going to talk about his early life. I'm pretty sure that's what it looks like to me. It's also talking about, yeah, I think let's just call this early life. How he studied math and talking about his family, calling this early life on page 126. One more giant paragraph on 127. Let me know if you guys are lost because I'm going fast. 127. Nikola Tesla's reputation has ridden on a roller coaster. It's talking about how his work became lesser known after his death, which is interesting because I thought the others said differently, but he was genius. Let's see. He held on his birthday to announce new inventions. He gained a reputation as a mad scientist. I think this is part of his legacy back here. I'm going to call this big one legacy. All right, write it down for C. We got back here. AC/DC power, mind, early life, legacy. Last one. You guys good? Thumbs up if you're good. Still with me? Okay, I see that. Give me a thumbs up in the camera. Okay. Page 129. We're going to do this quick. This is D. You guys see the pattern here. D. This is 129. Talking about when he lived. He's talking about where he was born. I think this is going to be an early life again, or general. It's talking about his when the midwife remarked that he would be a child of the storm. That's interesting. So this is kind of early life, but general also. I'm going to put general. Because it's also talking about what he achieved later in that paragraph. So I'm going to put general for that one. Talking about his childhood here, much like other boys. I'm going to put early life here. So I got general, this is page 129, and early life for the second paragraph is talking about his childhood. On the back, this part, I'm just going to let you know, because I've already skimmed this before class. This is talking about his mind. So we're going to call this one mind right here on the bottom of page 30. I'm on page 30. And then I'm on page 130, 131. I think we're almost there, you guys. This is the last paragraph on 131. And this is going to be that. Whoops. Hold on, I got too many things here. I lost my. Okay, well, I lost my paper here, but that's all right. This one is talking about one mystery concerns missing papers. It's talking about how he put together a weapon down here. This is going to be more of his inventions. So I'm going to put inventions here. That's on page 131. Okay. Under D, we got general, early life, mind, and then inventions. Yep. All right, you guys got that? We did it. Job, you guys. Now, we've got a lot of choices here, and I always like to start with the early life when you're talking about a person. This is a person of history. We have to give reference of when this guy was born and what he was about. So what I'm going to do here is circle early life in each of these columns because I noticed that basically each one of these address his early life. So your first topic for your first paragraph, that's what you're going to focus on this week, is paragraph 1 about his early life. You're going to mention when he was born, where he was born, and you can also mention about his mind, because his mind, that was pretty interesting. I'm going to put parentheses around mind here because you can add that to your paragraph about his early life. As you're going through these paragraphs, when you sit down to do your homework, you're going to actually read the paragraphs. Look for the ones that talk about his early life and read that paragraph. You don't have to read the entire stuff, okay? But you do have to read the entire paragraph that addresses these topics. So up here on Roman numeral 1, we're going to put Nikola Tesla and early life. This is just giving you a note to yourself. You don't have to use early life in your sentence. You can figure out a different way to say that. But this is how you're going to know what topic you're choosing for paragraph 1. This is going to be the same. I'm just going to put NK and early life here. NK, early life. NK, just so you remember, early life. Oh, we forgot to write the numbers here. Let's write that in real quick for the fused. This is still going to be Roman numeral 1, and you're going to do 1 through 6. We're going to make 7 optional, okay? And this is where we're going to put clincher here. NK early life. All right, your job is to go back and focus on the paragraphs that talk about his early life and his mind. If you're interested in including that in that first paragraph, building your keyword outlines here, you've got 4. And then like I showed you with Jude's, you're going to pull from each one of those and build your fused. Your fused is going to be a combination of all of those outlines, and then write your paragraph. You're ready now. So you can just go to those paragraphs. That's why we labeled them all. Then you're ready to go to research those parts of his life. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about homework or any of the stuff we just talked about? I see you shaking your head. That's good. Either you're just like, I'm hungry, I'm tired. Anyway, I'm glad we got through it. I don't like doing this that fast, but we had to get you going so you had your information that you need for your paragraph. Next week we'll slow down a little bit, but go ahead. You're going to finish these 4 keyword outlines and your fused, making 5 right here, and then write your paragraph using the fused. All right, you guys, have a great week. Welcome back. Have fun. See you next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, you guys.